It is part 2 of the NFL mock draft and mock free agency. We will be starting with the 49ers at pick 11 all the way through number 32 with the Eagles. And if you missed it, we did an intro of free agency, offseason news, and picks 1 through 10, who they draft and a mock draft and free agency options. So check out part 1 if you haven't listened to it, and let's get into part 2 with Uncle Blaiso and our mock draft off-season special. 49ers, an odd place for them to be in the draft and off-season defense. It seems like they need a ton of defense when you think of the Niners, and the first thing that comes to your head is defensive line, offensive line. Right. That's kind of like their needs, which is weird.
Absolutely. And I think it's inside, like someone like Walter Nolan, right, the top D tackle, or if Will Johnson's there, Kenneth Grant, the other tackle from Michigan, who's apparently just an absolute animal. Like, physically, he's just apparently just a complete freak show. So, that's what they need. And then I don't know, their O-line doesn't seem great either. I haven't said that much, but it seemed like last year their O-line got ran over a lot. And maybe that's a product of not having CMC and what he brings to keep defenses off balance. But I don't know. I think they need to start building up some beef again, because they weren't the Niners that just bullied teams last year. They kind of got bullied a bunch of times. So O-line, D-line is kind of the move.
And I think their big offseason question, and if you're the GM, what do you pay Brock Purdy? Because they need to re-sign him. Is he a bit like more than Tua, I assume, because the salary cap's up?
No,
I think you have to, right? Because he has to be like, I'm fucking better than Tua. I want more money than Tua. You
should, but it's going to hear what we need. You and I have talked about this so many times on the podcast. At some point, we need one of these GM or owners to say, "Look, like, you're a good quarterback. I get it. We'd love to keep you, but we're not paying $50 million unless you're Patrick Mahomes. Okay, like, get it through your head. Take 40." Be happy. You're going to have 2 better linemen in front of you. You're not going to be running for your life. We've got good weapons. Like, here's your contract, or kick rocks. At some point, someone needs to do it, and Lynch might just be the guy.
And I just thought about this. This is like a aha moment. They need to be like, look, Brock, Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith, Jimmy G. Look at what they did with our coach. Look at what they did when they left.
Yeah,
you were terrible. Don't let we put nice makeup on you, but stop it.
That might be. I don't know if he's terrible. I like terrible. Purdy, and I wanted to say this, like, when I say that, I actually like Purdy. I actually think he's good. Like, he's really good. I just think, like, no, don't pay him, because now, if you look at how things are rising, and Tua and Lawrence got 50 plus, like, so the market says he should get 60. That's insanity. It's insanity. He's not. You can't do it. He's not. He's not that.
I think they need to stick to their guns, absolutely, and then
be like, we're going to give you a nice deal. We're going to give you 6 years, $240 million. Like, here you go,
and a chance to be in the conference championship and Super Bowl every single year if you stick with us. I mean, or you can go to the Steelers. I guess the Steelers are pretty good. Go to the Giants, and make more money. Good luck. The Jets, and make more money. Good luck.
Yeah, have fun and never be relevant. This way you get to still be good, and you're gonna have CMC coming back. Kittle's still gonna be there.
South Carolina, a couple stud wide receivers now with Ayuk and what's his name that sprung up?
Shit, what's his name?
Yeah. Well, he's good.
That's bad that we can't remember that.
That's all right. You can't do it all, right?
Can't be perfect.
So on to the number 12, Cowboys, what they need, offseason move. They need running back, guard, defensive tackle, cornerback, linebacker. My offseason move is a piece of that roof falls and kills Jerry Jones, freeing up a ton of opportunities.
No. The roof has never fallen, he said.
That's right.
It's never fallen. As there's like a piece on the ground right there, the CBS reporter's like, excuse me, sir. It's like, no, that's not our roof.
He needs to get on the Trump side. Like, he needs to be signed by him. I heard, though, he was really good in Landman. He needs some sort of Oscar for his performance in Landman.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Have you seen any Landman yet?
No. So with the newborn, we fall asleep at 9:00, and we have watched. It took like 5 watchings to get through one movie recently, so it's we fall asleep pretty quick.
All right. Well, when you get into it, Landman is
Yeah.
awesome, and Jerry Jones is fantastic. And the best part, allegedly, he didn't rehearse it. He
Oh
just
wow.
it was obviously a story that he had told Taylor Sheridan or something similar like that, and Sheridan's like, just go with that, just do that. It was awesome. And he was in a room with John Hamm and Billy Bob, so like pretty accomplished actors, and he stole the
Yeah.
scene. Like he absolutely stole the show. It was amazing.
It's
It was
funny. At
amazing.
first, I realized you meant Billy Bob Thornton, but immediately I was thinking Billy
Yeah.
Bob from Varsity Blues.
I wish.
I was like,
Pretty sure
Billy
he's dead.
Bob's in this in Landman?
Yeah. And his pig, Bacon.
Yeah.
He's pretty sure he's dead.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
about right.
I know. It's tough.
Would you go
You're gonna love my
after
pick here. You're gonna love
Ashton
my pick here.
Genie?
Oh yeah,
Genie?
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
no brainer.
I think that's one of the second no-brainer after the offensive lineman for
Yeah. It's surprising
yeah.
how many mocks don't have it though. But like there used to see some, now I'm seeing less and less. I think it's a no-brainer. I think he's an absolute stud. He's a workhorse. Whenever Dallas has been good, like back when Jerry Actually's teams were good, when you were in high school still, he had Emmitt Smith, right? Like big bruising running back who just got 8 yards, 8, 8, 8, 8. And even a good couple years ago when they were a contender, right? Like they were a decent team when Zeke was there. I think it's a no-brainer, and their defense needs help too. But I think this one's easy.
I'm actually, to your NFL playoff team question, I wonder NFL playoff teams in a good running back. I'm trying to think. I mean, most really had it, right?
Last year there was a few.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like most had it.
Oh yeah.
Eagles, obviously. The Commanders had a great running game. Rams, Lions, obviously. Chiefs, pretty good. Texans, yes. Bills, yes. Ravens, yes. Chargers, good running game. Yeah, Packers, yes. Vikings, Bucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like you have to be able to run the ball, and everyone's kind of. It seems like running backs are coming back, and so why not have him to the Cowboys? I think it makes tons of sense.
Absolutely.
They just lost Zach Martin, right? So they're gonna that's a big hole for the offensive line, huge hole. But you can get guards. You can get a guard in the second and third round.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for some reason if they don't take Genie, maybe you try and sign an Aaron Jones and Najee, but they've already tried to get old people to fill positions, and it just doesn't work. They need to start fresh there.
Yeah, absolutely. Their guy was better towards the end of the year last year. The running back that they had, he was fine, right? But this is a home run pick. I think you take that swing.
On to pick 13, Dolphins. They need a defensive tackle, guard, safety, linebacker, and a quarterback, according to NFL.com. So I think you take.
I like it.
Yeah, Jackson Dart is my pick overall. So
in the first round,
cut to it. No,
I'm like, this is the biggest troll move ever. But I mean,
Tua is out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in the third or fourth round they take a flyer on one of these guys, like one of these mid-range quarterbacks that the fakey thinks can fit into a system. You have to, because Tua doesn't play every game. Like, so you have to have another guy, and it can't be the scrubs that they put out last year. Like, it's bad when I was at the game in Seattle and guys that I used to play football with are like, "Hey, do you think you can suit up for the second half?" Like Dolphins fans, like that's how bad their guys they were playing were, and so it needs to change.
And I think they've already seen one Alabama quarterback be much better than Tua, so why not get another one? Draft what's his name from Alabama? Well, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
I know. I've got a point on him later too.
Yeah,
that's tough. But yeah, quick look that up. No, but I don't think he fits that system.
Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, Milroe. He doesn't fit that system, though.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's quick.
Yeah, there's no quarterback running there. Yeah,
no. That'd be quite the switcheroo, though. The old, hey, you paired Tua. Look at this.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like when years ago when they came out running the Wildcat, and we were just like, what's this? And it was like 280 yards later. Oh, didn't see that one coming.
I think overall, in all seriousness, I hate the Dolphins, but they just need to get like tougher and meaner. I just think they're so fucking soft. Yeah. So I don't know if that's like just linemen across the board. Aside
their
from
O-line sucks.
Calais Calais
Like
is
this
tough.
would,
They need another tough person next to him or offensive line too.
yeah, they have a couple nice pieces that they've picked on the on the defensive side lately. Some pass rushers and that, but I think as much as we were certain that the Cowboys or the Bears pick was just going to be offensive line, I think the Dolphins pick just has to be,
Yeah,
whether it's that Booker kid or
Kelvin Banks.
Membu or Banks, whoever's there. I
Yeah,
think they got
Josh
to take that.
Simmons. Yeah. On to the Colts. 14, big offseason move, draft. I know you had a point because it looks like there's a QB competition opening up
Yes,
in Colts
yeah. How
world.
about that? How about the GM just come out flat out say that there's just an open competition now for the guy they took third overall 2 years ago or fourth overall or whatever it was.
But what do they
I
do?
love it.
Like, who is
I
this
love it.
competition going to be with? Like, it can't be with, like, you're going to bring in Mac Jones or Jameis Winston. Like,
You're gonna bring in someone, and it's gonna be a competition. That tells me that they're confident in what they have with the rest of their roster, because they have a decent roster, right? They got a good running game. They got some good receivers. Their line's always solid. Their defense was okay. I think they're saying, look, maybe they go get Darnold. Who knows? I
Justin
think
Fields could be, I mean,
yeah,
a decent little spot.
yeah. I love it. I think it's. I mean, you know my thoughts on the Colts. I call them the Rats, and I just can't stand them. And I love that they are just always here in the middle of the pack somewhere. But that move is actually a team showing a little bit of awareness, saying, okay, like we gotta do something with this kid.
Yeah.
So
Another good spot if I guess you don't draft anyone. Yeah, they wouldn't draft a QB here anyways. But Ty Warren or even the Michigan tight end Loveland would
Loveland.
be. Yeah.
So I would cringe if Warren fell this far.
Yeah.
I would be upset. And that one is that's where one of these teams of kind of in the 8, 9, 10, 11 range, where if Warren starts to fall, teams are going to start to jump. Right, teams are going to start to. So someone might be able to really pull off a nice pick there. But yeah, I would not be happy if he went to the Colts because I really like that kid. So that would piss me off a whole bunch.
And then if not, I mean, they need a bunch of spots. Tyler Booker on the line or Membu, of course.
Yeah.
Cornerback Will Johnson or Jody Barron from Texas. Yeah. All right. On to the Falcons. Draft, offseason move. They need everything on defense. They're 31st in sacks, 27th in pass rush win rate. Jalen Walker, if still there. Jihad Campbell. Mike Green from Marshall again.
Yeah. So in true Falcons fashions, just like for the last 8 years, we've all known that they need to stock up the defense. So they're going to certainly, with this pick, take a receiver.
Take McMillan,
yeah, they'll take Ted McMillan, and they'll find a way to screw it up. They're as dysfunctional as it gets for like a middling team, and yeah, like they clearly. I mean, it's got to be 5 years in a row. We thought, hey, they should probably take a D line or they should take the pass rusher, like, and they just never do. And they just take positions they don't need, and it's going to be the same thing though. So they're going to find a way. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. They're just going to just pick. Yeah, like I said, it might be Ted McMillan or what's the Ohio State kid. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Do you cut Pitts and just move on and just take maybe a tight ends there too as an option? But
I don't think so. I mean, there's been talk that they might even trade him, but what does it hurt having him around? He's not. It's not like he's making $20 million, and he did show some signs last year, right? Like of making the odd play here or there. He's as good as tight ends you're going to find on the free agent market, and you're not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, they might draft another one here. Most teams wouldn't, but they might.
They will.
So I don't know. I would give him another chance. I'd give him and Penix a whole year and play together and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I would say if I was them, but they think differently than everyone else. So.
Yeah, and I guess offseason wise, you just try and trade Kirk Cousins and figure his salary into that. So not much.
Well,
of a
you're not going
cap
to trade
hit.
Cousins. Zero chance.
Yeah.
You're either keeping him or cutting him. Nobody's trading for that contract.
Well, and you see this happen in the NBA and I think soccer. They don't really do trades, but I guess they do transfers. So yeah, they do trades where you can just trade, let's say, a 7th, but you also take a salary, or even maybe we give you a 7th,
yeah,
and you take a salary. You know what I mean? Like I'd be interested in something like that where whatever it is, it's more of a salary thing than the picks back either
I
way.
think you're going to see that happen a couple times this year. Maybe not with him, but like that's certainly going to be the case where you're going to see some teams that have so much money to spend and not no agents to spend it on. They're going to basically say, okay, we'll take this garbage contract that you have, and you give us your second round pick.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll eat the money for you, but that's what we get as compensation. So I think you're going to see a few of those this year.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. It's gonna happen with Kirk. We call it. We'll clip this out when it happens.
Yeah. Oh, Kirk. Where does he end up? Yeah, you're right. I don't even know.
Why would you want him? I just don't. I don't know. He's just old.
Yeah.
He's not gonna win you. I guess just as a bridge QB to kind of hopefully get through is the only.
Yeah, he's not winning you a Super Bowl.
So I think the only place I would put him would be like the Giants, Tennessee, Browns. If you draft, Shooter or whatever that is, just to be there for a bit and then as a bridge. All right. Well, on to the Cards. Cardinals need everything. I lived in Phoenix and still do ish for like the last 10 years. And I think it's the team with the least amount of people I could name on the team. Like it's just, they're so obscure and terrible.
I don't know what the game plan is. Like, I don't ever know what the game plan is.
No, they don't have a plan. Like, is there a way can you trade Kyler Murray somehow and just start over?
No.
I don't know.
No,
he's not bad. He's
him.
Not good, but he's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the same thing. He's not winning the Super Bowl. He'll keep you around 500. And, so I don't think, I think their O-line is okay. I think they got to just go defense and just try to keep it low scoring. And then, because they have, Harrison Jr. is going to be that much better this year. And they got one of the best tight ends in football. So if I was them, you stock up the defense and try and keep teams under 20 points or around 20 points and hope that Kyler makes enough plays to get to 24, right?
Yeah.
An unrealistic goal. They run the ball well. And so just load up the defense and try to make some stops.
Yeah, and that's who I have is on the defensive side. And I have a question for you with Michael Williams and James Pierce Jr. I felt like going into the season they were top 5 picks, and they've just gone way lower. Like now
there's something going on with Pierce. Like apparently there's some off-field. I haven't exactly heard what, but you're starting to hear a lot of rumblings that there's something going on with him that pushed him down because talent-wise, he apparently is right up there. I think that Williams kid is going to be a stud. He's a freak. Like he's going to go higher than people. Like the one draft I'm looking at now has the Falcons taking him. I think he's gone way before that. I think he goes in the top 10.
A ton of drafts mocks I've looked at have him like 17th, 18th, 19th. Yeah. It's crazy. When I think he was injured at the start of this year, so he missed a bunch of games. But
he's a freak show, and he's going earlier than that. So the Cardinals to get like that Kenneth Grant from Michigan, the D tackle, or whatever other if Nolan were to fall there, they got to load up their defense. I mean, Budda Baker is their best run defender. That's not good.
Yeah, no.
Your safety shouldn't be leading the team in tackles or whatever it was, some goofy stat like that.
All right, on to the Bengals. Draft, offseason move. My big thing with them is just stop with this T. Higgins stuff. I don't understand it. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the world. They have a wide receiver they're about to pay with Chase, the highest non-quarterback salary. They've got tons of money to Hendrickson. And you want to add more offense? Like, let him handle it. He's got it. Just like Mahomes, just like Jared Allen, Lamar, stop adding offensive players at a high cost. Give him some scrubs, just like Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady, just aside from Randy Moss the one time, like give him some people, he'll make them great.
Yeah.
And his defense is awful. Why on earth are we taking T. Higgins and like they have wide receiver as the biggest need? A lot of mocks or tight ends. It's like no defense.
They have the best wide receiver in the league. Like the best wide receiver in football. They have him already with a great quarterback. Yeah, you can't. And again, this is selfish because I want to see T. Higgins hit the market. But and Hendricks isn't signed long term. Like they need to get a deal done with him. That should be their priority over Higgins.
It should be absolutely, and it's not. Right? I don't understand.
Yeah, and this, so as much as we've said like the Bears, their pick 100%, and the Dolphins needs to be O-line, this pick 100% needs to be on the defense side somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You need some defensive players because you're garbage. You have nobody on defense. You suck. So they need to just find the best player they have on defense, take them, and do it like the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm in a bizarro world where they're talking about whether it's trading or releasing Hendrickson, but then signing T. Higgins. I'm like, what? That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if they sign Higgins, it's almost like they're the Dolphins or the Cowboys, just spending all their money on 3-4 positions that you shouldn't be. I guess do it once, do one wide receiver, don't do both. Totally. It's just insanity.
How think about how hamstrung the Dolphins are because they have like $100 million tied up in Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle. Like,
yeah,
and these guys are better than that. Like,
yeah,
right? Like Burrow is better than Tua. Chase is better than either of those 2 receivers. So don't sign another expensive one. Learn from that example.
Exactly.
Get a good young guy in there. Their 3rd receiver last year was okay. Gesicki at tight end he can get you through another year. Draft later. Like find yourself another guy in the draft, but do not. Yeah, they got to let Higgins walk.
If they spend their money on offense, I'm going to lose my mind, or draft pick. So
and Joe Burrow's doing all the media tours and talk about how oh no, there's ways to do this. It's like, oh yeah, there is, man. Why don't you give him some of your money?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, there's ways to juggle it. Take $10 million off your thing and say, okay, now we can keep T. Higgins.
Yeah, exactly.
But fuck, man, there's only one football. Like
no.
And it seems like there's 3 when you're playing defense because it seems like someone's always got the ball and they're always wide open. So you guys are somewhere else where you're not supposed to be.
Yeah. And I think, if they can get a Michael Williams next to Trey Hendrickson, now we're talking. And then they've got some salary cap space. If they don't sign T. Higgins for some defenders, they can actually contend for a Super Bowl. You tell me that? Like,
absolutely. Nobody wanted them in the playoffs last year with that offense. Nobody wanted them there.
No.
So now,
and T. Higgins barely even played.
Yeah.
So, all right. On to the Seahawks. I had to do some big research in this because this is the only one I actually really Googled like what they need and stuff because it was just so obscure. I guess it's just offensive line help. But then I found out, so I want to, because I'm not an expert, so I'm going to sound like one here, but they can cut a ton of players that get like huge amounts of cap space, which are all great cuts. They can extend Geno to save some cap room if they want, like nothing a huge extension, but a little one. Let go of Tyler Lockett, saves $17 million. Let go of Fant, saves $9 million. Extend DK, you can save $13 million, and release a guy I've never heard of, Draymond Jones, to save $11 million.
Yeah.
So it's like all of a sudden they've got like $70 million, $60 million cap space from some cuts that really aren't, or extensions that are solid. It's nothing like, oh my God, you're cutting someone big. So
yeah, and you gotta lower the Metcalf hit because JSN's the number 1 there now. That's clear, right? Like Metcalf is still a dude, and it's still somebody you should keep. But if you can create, I didn't know that, if you can create $17 million to get rid of Lockett, see you later, Lockett. Like he's been a great Seahawk, and they love him there. But like he's not getting any younger, and he's not making $17 million worth of plays anymore.
He sure
should
is.
be making like 4. So that's a no-brainer.
Extend DK with whatever, and then you got JSN. Those are 2 stud wide receivers that you've got for the next 3 to 5 years.
Absolutely, and I love it. I love that you brought that up about Geno. Keep him.
Yeah,
keep him. Sure, draft another young guy later if you think you'd find somebody you really like, but Geno's your guy.
Yeah, and what else is out there? Like, what are your other options?
Yeah,
not really much.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins ain't going up there.
Yeah, and maybe you get lucky, and we've got Tyler Bookey, Kelvin Banks, Membu, Gray Zabel from North Dakota State.
Yeah, that guy's apparently a freak show, man.
Yeah,
I don't think people are talking about this Membu enough. Like, I saw a few clips on him. Like, he played against all the dudes in the SEC and was like just held his own and did his thing all the time. I guess playing in Missouri, you don't get a lot of pub, but he seems like a bit of an animal.
Yeah.
So like he's gonna be a nice pick for somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah, I looked at Gray Zabel, North Dakota State, white guy with a beard, kind of looked like he could be a racist. Is like, I don't want to face that guy. I feel like he probably really can go hard on some people.
Yeah, and all the stuff you heard about him at the Senior Bowl was he was some guys are participating, some guys are not. He would literally, any chance there was to jump in and get a rep, he would at any position. He played all 5 positions. Like he just wants to just hit people. So yeah, that's always been concerning when you're that size and your just goal is to just hit people all the time. You're right. Those are the kind of guys that you want protecting you. So
exactly.
Yeah, he's going to be a nice pick.
On to the Bucks. They need. People say wide receiver. I'm like, no, they don't need a wide receiver. Like even if they let Godwin go, stop. You need defense. I saw you get shredded over and over on D.
Yeah.
Sign whoever, like we kind of said before, with whatever team it was, the Bengals, whatever best available defenders there. Take, especially an edge. If somehow Michael Williams or Pierce is a good spot next to Vita Vea. Now we're talking.
Yeah, and they had another decent edge there still. Yeah, I think that one's a no-brainer. They just stock up the defense because Evans is not even close to done, and that McMillan kid had a great year last year.
Yeah, and even Sterling Shepard's a nice little slot if he's still around.
Now, if you wanted to say Colston Loveland there, I wouldn't kick up too much of a fuss. But I'm with you. They need defense.
Yeah, and what's his name did pretty good there for a while. Their tight end.
Their tight end's okay, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think defense. Bakesy's your guy. You know that going forward for the next 3 years, right? So
yeah,
good running game. Some really nice pieces on the O-line. Yeah, stock up the D.
Yeah. Number 20, we got the Broncos for their draft. I think this is the most enviable. What was the other one that we really liked? The Jaguars. Jaguars is my number 1 pick for the best spot in the draft. The Broncos, somehow they have a defense that's unreal, which I still don't really understand this.
Yeah.
And all they need to do is just sit there and wait for Tet to fall to them, or Tyler Warren obviously won't, or Loveland, and just the rich. They shouldn't even be rich, but somehow the rich will get richer. I don't see how they don't improve drastically for a position of need on offense and just get better somehow.
Yeah, no, they're in a nice spot. They're in a good spot, and it won't be they'll have a choice of a ton of players here. And
Emeka Egbuka, or however you pronounce it, from OSU, he's a stud. So I mean,
he's a stud. Would they if they thought there was another running back there, would they take a flyer, or they're more of a later running back kind of pick?
Because I don't know enough about the North Carolina kid. He's like in and around that space.
Yeah, people love him.
I don't think Genie falls, but if Genie falls, you do that.
Yeah, that'd be a no-brainer. That'd be a no-brainer. But yeah, I think you're right. You get a guy like Loveland, or Egbuka, whatever. Yeah, he'd be great there too.
Yeah, so I think they've got a great spot. Or even if you get Loveland, then they go out and get Chris Godwin, or is it Tyler Lockett, or whatever other wide receivers are out there. Diggs, that'd be huge. You can control him.
Yeah.
They're
in a good spot.
Absolutely.
They do need to get a running back though. I think at some point, 3rd, 4th round, you're going to see like Travion Henderson or someone like that. You're going to see the Saints go and get a running back. Because
one who I'd like to see, and actually I've got him next, so I'll save it. Well, we'll say it. Nick Chubb is just a wild card. I think you get him basically for free.
Oh, yeah?
And he just, because he's a free agent. I just don't see. I mean, the worst case, you have an old running back who doesn't do much for, a low salary.
Yeah.
Best case, he's obviously a person who cares most about football at the running back position. Runs hard. He's a freak show. He was obviously coming off a huge surgery.
Right.
If he still has 2 years left in him, I mean, wow. Not on the Browns as well. That's a nice little uptick in yards.
Yeah, that would make him happy. That would make him happy.
Not seeing 11 people in the box.
I like that.
Yeah. But, so Chubbsy.
Yeah. I feel like Peyton, though, he wants guys that are going to catch more balls. Not that Chubb can't, but I think he likes the receivers that are the running back that are going to do a lot. Like Travion Henderson to the Broncos eventually, I think is a nice pick.
Yeah. All right. Steelers. They need quarterback, corner, DBs, running back. They need a bunch of stuff.
Their DBs are tragic. But they have to, like, who's their quarterback? It's enough. Like, people.
I had that in my notes.
Patching it together.
Like, what do they like? I don't understand what they're interested in. They've got like Mason Rudolph, and then what's his name from Pitt, and
Kenny
now,
Pickett.
and then hey, we're gonna juxtapose Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I'm just like, what?
See
I
how
don't
that
understand
works.
this.
I know it's a mess. So they're another spot where obviously not in the first round, but Will Howard, like a big, like going back to the days of Ben, just a big kind of brute of a quarterback who just gets rid of the ball. He's not going to run around like Lamar, but he's going to extend plays. Hard to tackle. You know, someone like second or third round, take a flyer on him and see. They got to try something, man. Like they can't just keep rolling out retread after retread every single year.
And it is a retread, but this was another potential Matt Stafford landing spot where they are kind of win now ish. Like their defense looks pretty good, tailed off a little bit, but still looks great.
I have a trade proposal here who I think you're either going to love it or you're going to tell me I'm not allowed to talk about my team anymore.
All right, let's hear it.
This pick here, number 21 for Joe Milton.
Oh my God, why did I see this one coming? 21 for Joe Milton. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, we'll give him back a fourth.
Someone just unsubscribed. They're like, all right.
But seriously, like a team like that, maybe not this pick, but okay.
Not this pick.
Maybe their second rounder. Joe
Milton's
good, man. Joe Milton's good.
Down.
He's good.
From one
he would fit into what Pittsburgh does, running around, big, bruising. Like he would be a young, slightly more tan version of Big Ben. Like,
slightly.
How would that go in Pittsburgh?
I mean, he won one game against Bills backups, so let's not go.
But he looks fantastic doing it.
And the Bills starters got shelled for 70 points by the Rams, so I don't even know how good that is.
Don't worry about it.
Could Jackson Dart? Would that be too much of a reach here?
Like then wouldn't they just be doing Kenny Pickett times two if they
2.0?
Like, if you're gonna use your mid first round pick, why not just find a guy that you like later in the draft, and it's just as much of a crapshoot, really.
Yeah.
So get value out of this pick and then do that later. Do that in the third round. The Shuck kid from Louisville or something like that.
Yeah, I think they just need to, like you're alluding to, is just go after like something for sure, whether that's top 3 pick somehow, top 5 pick, or else
or later.
Matt Stafford, I guess.
Second round pick from the Steelers for Joe Milton.
That is enough. I have we're done. Chargers, and I have the same response for everything, but for their draft offseason move, is I just feel like Michael Williams or James Pierce somehow falls to them, and then we're going to look and be like, how the hell did we let Harbaugh have Michael Williams or James Pierce? And they're just going to be studs, and everyone's going to be pissed, and there's going to be more angry in the trenches and destroy teams on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be like, how did you let one of these two fall?
Couldn't agree more. So, you see a lot of mocks have Hampton there. I don't see it. I don't see I truly believe that Harbaugh believes he can just stock a running back in there who's pretty good and run right at you. He might even be looking at that big kid from Michigan that he had a couple years ago. Right, take him later in the draft instead of taking a guy in the first. You're right. Like, let them just keep stocking because they're probably going to lose Khalil Mack, right? And Bose is not getting any younger. So I think absolutely. I'm not seeing enough of the mocks that go end here, but to me, it's a no-brainer.
Especially when we've seen the key to kind of beating the Chiefs is line play. Dominate their offensive line, and you have a good shot to beat them.
Yeah, got to do it.
So although if Ted McMillan's there, I'm not against that either. Or if Loveland somehow falls to them, that's not terrible. I mean, getting more weapons, but I think definitely in the trenches. And I guess they need a center, but there's some centers in free agency, like Drew Dahlman from the Falcons. There's a guard, Will Fries from Indy. So there's some stuff in that, but I think you can get a stud.
Actually, wouldn't Gray Zabel be an absolute Harbaugh pick?
Oh yeah,
if he is here, like if he were to last that long, that could be what you see. But they need another end. Like you said, they should be thinking about, okay, we need to run the ball down the Chiefs' throat, and we need to beat the piss out of Mahomes. So that's how they're going to win the division.
Absolutely. On to the Packers, pick 23, draft pick, offseason move. I think they have 8 wide receivers that are all like 7 or 8 out of 10s, but they've never had a stud. So I just think if they can get
And they won't.
Ekbuka or McMillan.
No chance.
To
Zero.
do it, but
Zero. They just won't. The Packers, it's not in their DNA. They won't take a running back here. They'll just take like the best O line that they can see or another dude for their front seven, and they'll be quite happy with it. And they're in a pretty good spot. Like their roster's okay, and this is a decent spot to pick. Wouldn't be surprised if they were a team that traded down a little bit, even just a couple spots, and pick up another pick here and there, because all these guys are going to be about the same now, right? So I don't see them doing that in the first round as a receiver.
Yeah.
They got too many guys that are pretty good that I don't think you waste a premium pick on a receiver who might be good, because essentially when you look at the other receivers in this draft, it's kind of just duplicate of what they have. There's a bunch of guys in the middle. So I don't think you're going to take your top pick there.
Yeah, and then I guess to your point, just kind of take whoever the best available is at kind of they have a bunch of needs. Like they're all strong everywhere, but they're not amazing anywhere. So
yeah.
All right. On to the Vikings.
Your Vikings.
All right. Well, we got to dive in. So it seems like there's no way to sign and trade Darnold that isn't Vikings. Kind of like you're wanting Joe Milton for a second rounder. It's like me wanting to sign Darnold and trade him. It seems like that's never going to happen, right?
No.
It's like, so I think you just have to let him go. And I mean, we say this all the time. You're either a winner or you're not. And he plays really good in the regular season, but we saw what happens when there's two games that mattered, or in his lifetime, like when truly the pressure's on. We saw he can't do it. I think I read he was 14th in the metrics for like quarterback all season, so nothing amazing. Still, had some good games. So JJ, I'm sure, can do what he did, worst case, in the regular season, give or take 2 or 3 stat spots. But we know he's a winner. So I mean, I think we see this enough with QB, is like you either have a winner or you don't. And if you don't have a winner, move on. So this is it. It would have been nice if we could get something for him. Doesn't seem like we can. But I think JJ, rookie contract, we can't lose another year of the rookie contract and pay him. And I just think JJ can surely put up the similar stats in the regular season, and then maybe actually over the hump.
Here's a question for you. Is it worth franchising him?
I only think if you can franchise and then trade him, but that doesn't seem realistic, I guess.
Well, I think you can do that.
But I don't think anyone's going to do it.
So let's say you franchised him, right? The amount of money that you're spending for a quarterback is on par with everybody else, but you have 2 because it's not like JJ's contract is huge right now. You're going to have somebody else there anyway, right? You're not just going into the season with just JJ, because A, he's already been hurt. B, you have no idea what he's going to do in the NFL. You think he's going to be good. O'Connell obviously loves him. He took him with the 10th pick, but you're going to have someone else anyway. So if what's the quarterback cap? 30 some or 40?
Yeah.
I don't even know. If you can stomach it, is it, or you just offer him I don't know if he's going to have a long-term deal waiting for him. Maybe they say, hey, we'll give you another year. If you want it, here's $30 million.
Yeah.
Maybe he takes it.
Yeah. And that's why I just think you just need to roll the dice. You either need to put all your eggs in or not. Because I think if you just kind of hedge, you're just going to stay in this, okay, we lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
We have a nice
I'm
season.
not saying keep him as your starter, but
Yeah. But I'd rather take that money and put it towards something else that we're paying him. Either go all in with JJ or just
So who else are you bringing in though? Who are you bringing in with JJ?
I don't know. I mean, do you keep Daniel Jones around? Do you take anyone really? Because I think you got to hope that JJ stays healthy. Because if not, then you're kind of screwed anyways. But
I
think either go all for it or don't. But you don't just kind of stay in this kind of middle ground of having both.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then, but as much as far as this draft pick goes, as much as he gets chirped for not doing well under the pressure, he was under pressure like that. Your line looked like ass the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And
our running game also is always terrible. But I had, if any lineman falls, like the Membus, I don't think Booker will fall this far. What's his name from Texas? Kelvin Banks.
Yeah,
I guess
Simmons
Josh
might
Connolly.
Be there.
Yeah, Simmons.
Simmons or Connolly.
Yeah, so I think that's great. Or I doubt he falls this far, but Ashton Jeanty, we need a running back.
That'd be huge.
That'd
be huge. He's not making it 24 though.
Which the
But
Vikings have somehow always hung around and held their water and gotten some outrageous picks. So
yeah,
maybe.
one mock I'm looking at right now has Travion Henderson there.
And what's his name from North Carolina? He could always go there too, a running back.
Yeah, I think though, like their running back needs to be able to catch the ball. Like they're not. I don't think they need a bruiser, do they? They kind of need someone who can do
Kind of
both.
do everything. Yeah. All right. Well, be
Who are
interesting
you
to see.
hoping
But
for? Who do you?
so I think if it has happened where people have fallen to us. So I think like G&T falling to us, or I'm not a offensive lineman guru, but like
Yeah,
Membo people love if he somehow falls. I think we just keep on getting lucky where we've let the draft come to us and somehow,
yeah,
like last year, remember just all the shit that happened, and we're like, oh wow, like
yeah,
we did get JJ and we didn't have to trade anything when
yeah. And then
every
you got your
mock
pass
said,
rusher.
yeah, where every mock said we
Yeah,
had to trade something to get up to JJ and we didn't.
yeah,
So I think there's so
yeah,
much. I mean, there's so much luck that comes into it, and I think we've been good at. We talked about this on other podcasts where the worst thing you can do is reach for something,
yeah.
and I think the best thing you do is just get lucky and something falls to you
For sure.
and hold your
So
water.
I will say this though, my thought about getting a second for Joe Milton is way more likely to happen than your dream of Genty falling to 24. Just so we're clear. Just so we're clear. Like I got chirped earlier for my throwing my team's pipe dream into this mix here. This
Yeah.
year's was worse. He's not
Okay.
falling to 24.
All right, and then yeah, I mean the other pipe dream is sign and trade Darnold to get something back for him, but
Yeah,
yeah, I doubt that's gonna happen.
I don't think that's
That
happening.
that could be like the huge offseason move of the year. I mean, we're talking about Stafford. If all of a sudden Darnold is just let go fully by the
Yeah.
Vikings and he signs somewhere big, they'll obviously have some huge dominoes.
Imagine Stafford with KOC and those receivers for a year. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That'd be
yeah.
nuts.
Darnold to the Giants, maybe if he gets cut. I mean,
Does he want to go back to New York? I don't think he had the best experience there.
no, he didn't. But maybe it could be one of those things. I'm in New York. I'm sticking it to you guys.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Giants and stick it to someone. Come on. He's smarter than that.
Sure. On to the Texans. This one I didn't really have a ton for. Draft pick, offseason move, just offensive tackle. Whoever's left really is what I had.
Yeah. O-line. Like their defense is in good shape. Yeah, they could obviously always use another receiver, but I kind of think they'll just sign Diggs, won't they?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, why would you not? You traded a little bit. They traded a second, I think, for him last year.
well, and I just think that if you've got a top 5 wide receiver in the world, you don't need
Yeah.
another top 50 wide receiver. Just you have
No.
your one and find a couple of scrubs, and you're fine. Like,
yeah, their O-line was trash, and they that's this one is another one of those ones. Just take the best O-lineman, go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and same thing in the offseason, just find more O linemen because you're looking good. Aside from that, it seemed like, they're just. We're doing so many teams and names right now. Why can't I think of their quarterback's name?
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, Stroud. Stroud just seemed like he was scared all the time. He looked like a different person.
Well, yeah, his line
He's like,
sucks.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like he lost all confidence in his line this season. So
Yeah.
So that on to the Rams, pick 26. I think again, linemen here just if they keep Stafford, they need to cut Cooper Kupp. I think that's a big offseason move.
Yeah.
And
So do you think anyone's going to trade for him, or is he just going to get cut?
no. Why would anyone trade for Cooper Kupp? How old is he now? 31, 32, 33?
No, not there yet. So I did
How
see
old
one
is
thing
Cooper
where
Kupp?
after the league a certain date, there was a cap hit wasn't as bad.
Mhm.
Like, and with so much money available, I mean, if you look at teams like, not saying that I want it to happen, but like the Patriots and the Commies that have good young quarterbacks and have $100 million in cap space, is throwing 15 at Cooper Kupp for a year a terrible idea? I don't know. Like, if you're hearing that people aren't going to be able to spend money because there's no big names, so I just don't. I think you're not giving up much for him. Like you say, the Rams, here you go, we'll give you a 6th-round pick, we'll take him.
Yeah,
like you're not
exactly.
trading a good asset, but I think someone's going to take a flyer. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, I think they definitely maybe trade a 6, but yeah, nothing
Yeah,
like heavy. So he's
you're
he's gonna
not giving
be
them anything good.
he's gonna be 32 years old this summer. So
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, he seems to be kind of slowing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just keep Stafford if you can. Try and make him happy with some sort of. It seems like McVay has said we're going to keep him. We're going to do everything in our world to keep him.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying before, like the playoffs aren't promised. You guys made the playoffs. They're real close to beating the Eagles.
Yeah, they were like 2 plays away. They go the other
Exactly.
direction. Like they were marching on that last drive. If they just didn't forget to block Jalen Carter twice,
Mm,
um,
yeah.
they're marching to win that game.
Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, you get an offensive lineman if something falls to you,
Yeah.
or if one of the top wide receivers somehow falls to you, or a top tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, just help
Imagine
Stafford
imagine
out.
Ibuka across
Yeah,
from Puka.
exactly.
That would be and their defense is nasty and they are and
Mm-hmm.
young, so you could add to that, or like I think bulk up their line a little bit. But they must have some guys they really like on the O line, because they just gave Jonah Jackson permission to seek a trade, the guard,
Yeah, that seemed odd.
and there's a lot of talk that their left tackle is going to be a free agent, that Alaric
Hmm.
Jackson. So they must have some guys in the pipeline they like,
Yeah.
or they just that tapped for cash.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I guess the whole Stafford domino was one of the biggest offseason moves
Yeah,
that'll have to happen.
I would say.
On to the Ravens. So this is another thing that happened with me with the Bengals, where every mock I see is on offense, whether it's tackle, guard, weapons, whatever. It's like, stop. You have Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson. He can run away all the time. Your defense is mediocre at best. Get more studs on defense. Whatever it
yeah.
takes, enough. Just get defense. I've had enough of you trying to add more offensive weapons. Like when you have a stud like that, let them cook, leave them alone, spend your money elsewhere.
Yeah, that's fair. And they'll like the one mock I'm looking at now is Shamar Stewart. Like it seems like the Ravens always end up in this spot where they'll just pick late 20s and they get just like a defensive end who turns out to just be like
Mm-hmm.
not Micah Parsons, but he turns out to be like that Owe, or like there's guys that are just good. They just find
Yeah.
good football players all the time, and they do
And
such a great job with the draft. So I
this is
think
what
that's what we're looking at here.
this is what I had in my notes. Typical Ravens. I'm sure a stud Bama or Georgia player
Yeah,
will fall to them somehow, and we'll ask how the hell did they get him?
yeah, like Jalen Walker or
Yeah,
Jihad Campbell, right?
Jihad combo. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
by the way, can I ask a question?
yeah.
If you live in America, right? Why would you
Hmm.
name your kid Jihad?
Hmm.
Isn't
I
that
don't think
like
it's.
a big
I think it's.
Muslim like war
It has to be
term?
different spelling, right? Surely it's a different. Yeah, Jihad is one eye.
Oh, that's okay then.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It just seemed odd to me. He's an incredible football player. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he falls to our second pick in this, or to our pick in the second round. Like, I'd love to have him on our team, but it just seems weird in a
Yeah.
non-Muslim country to
Well,
and you're at
yeah.
odds with Muslims quite often, and then you have a kid named Jihad. It seems weird.
I assume his family is Muslim to name him that, but yeah, it's definitely with an extra eye. It would
Yeah,
be kind of cool, like if he was born during a Republican era, and it means holy war. So it's like, hey, you know what? I'm a warrior. Maybe not
I
pro
guess.
USA. I agree. I wonder what
Yeah,
the reasoning is.
just seems down south.
Hmm.
Just seems like an odd.
True.
It just seems like an odd one to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
Um, Lions. This is another one where I keep seeing guard, wide receiver. I'm like, what? You guys have the best. You have the most unstoppable offense, top three,
Yeah.
4 in the NFL. Why are you adding things on your
Well, they might be
offense? Like,
losing Zeitler though. They might be losing their top guard.
hmm,
So, I don't know. I think they've become good being a bully and building on.
mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's okay to build on a strength. I think their defensive line needs some help. Like,
That's where I was going. It's like
yeah,
add a stud on D. Like same thing as the Bengals or
yeah,
the Ravens. Add a stud on D.
yeah, because they just got decimated last year by injuries. So
Mm-hmm.
get more depth there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then some mocks still have Barron from Texas still around.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ruin his name, but Oluwafemi Aladejo. outside linebacker, UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
People really like him, I guess. I don't know enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then, yeah, I think you can re-sign some defensive pieces. There's DJ Reed, Javarius Ward out there on the defense if you want to sign in the free agencies.
Yeah.
But I think just defense, and keep being bullies.
Yeah, keep being bullies.
On the Commanders, pick 29. Same thing. Some people have tackle, wide receiver. No, just get defense, be bullies.
Yeah.
Just kind of rinse and repeat with the first two.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jonathan Allen wants out. Yeah, no, they need. Yeah, they signed some new guys last year, like Luvu, and then they drafted that Sanderson. Like they got some decent pieces on defense. Keep going there. Keep building. Your last game you played was a playoff game. You gave up 50 points, so I think it's pretty easy to see where you need to be, putting your resources.
Yeah. Like Jaden and Cliff have offense covered. It's fine. Get some defenders on.
They'll sort it out.
Yeah, and same thing. Offense offseason move. There's a lot of cornerbacks that are half decent out there, so try and get one of them. Bills, pick 30 draft offseason. I guess it's just repeating the same thing I just said over and over. Is it just defense? Like Josh Allen has your offense sorted. Whatever the best player is. They just signed
Secure, right? They just extended Secure, and they just drafted Coleman last year. So don't take a receiver here. You don't need a tight end. Your offensive line's in good shape. Yeah, defense.
Malachi Stark, safety from Georgia. I feel like grabbing a safety from Georgia is always
seems to work.
Wrong.
Yeah, it seems to work. If Jihad was there, right? I mean, really them or Commanders or Ravens, like he's kind of all three in that range.
Yeah, and they've got Walter Nolan from Oregon. Derek Harmon could still be there, so I think there's a lot of good options
for sure.
All right, on to the Chiefs. Ooh, I've got a trade. Chiefs draft offseason move. My trade, and you're gonna like this. I've been saving it. Trade with the Patriots. I think it's a little too early for them to do it, but
I don't like it already.
Trade with the Patriots and just take Will Campbell. Get a stud offensive lineman. Just get offensive line as much as you can across the board.
Or trade to the number 4 pick?
Yeah.
You know how much they'd have to give up to get up there?
Still, I don't care. Like they're in win now, which I guess is they always figure it out. They always pick someone good. So I guess maybe that's Zabel from North Carolina State. I don't think Membu falls this far, but
no.
I just think they need offensive line.
Be there. There's the problem.
Maybe Kelvin Banks, Simmons.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of tackles, and it's in that range where I really hope they don't take it because I want the Patriots to obviously go in the second round and get, like I said, Boston College kid or there's a few in that area. So, but yeah, they just need to take the best lineman that's here. Their line stinks.
And then we're in agreement. Just let go of Kelsey, whatever that saves you cap wise.
Yeah, they said he's coming back.
That's huge. All right, which is crazy.
His GM said the other day that he thinks he's coming back. It surprises me too. But
I wonder if you can do some sort of handshake agreement with him. Like, look, he has 1 year left on his deal. Like, we'll sign you for a 2-year deal, so it's easier on our cap.
Yeah,
but we know that you may retire,
and they still pay you.
If not, like maybe a little bit, like some sort of just ease the cap hit on Kelsey.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's not the money for him anymore, right? Like he's making more money podcasting than he is doing football.
Yeah. Or you do some sort of, hey, we'll convert that money into like assistant coaching, where he's just some sort of ambassador for the Chiefs. So then you got Taylor just bringing in money left and right still.
And then don't even play until like December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he needs to go. He needs to
go. On to the Eagles. Last pick of the first round. Spoiled.
Oh.
Huge riches. It's kind of like we're talking about with, what team was it? But basically, I mean, whoever falls to you is the best. That's with the Ravens. Someone amazing is going to fall to them, and we're going to be pissed off.
Yeah,
that it's Shamar Stewart or James Pierce or Walter Nolan or whoever it is. And how did this happen?
So, yeah, you're right. It's just going to be because they're loaded at every position. So it's anyone they grab is just going to be a bonus. But I got an interesting Eagles offseason take for you. And it's even the second, their second round pick might be in range. or Howie will move around, maybe move up a bit in the second, and take that quarterback from Alabama
instead of Jalen Hurts.
Just not to start. But remember, they had Carson Wentz as their projected guy. They had just given him a huge contract, and they took Jalen Hurts in the second round, and he replaced him. But like, can you think of a better quarterback to mirror? Like, if Hurts were to get hurt, like, that kid basically does what Hurts does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, his running is exceptional. He can throw enough. Like, Hurts is throwing to wide open dudes, and he can run the ball. Like, look for them to make a move like that to, because I think there's a lot of teams out there that really like their other quarterback too. So, like, if there's one thing that we know, Howie's going to make some moves, and it's going to drive me crazy because they almost always turn out. But I'm calling that one. I'm saying either the Eagles or maybe the Steelers, like in the second round. Someone to a team like that is going to pick up Milroe, and you pick him up. If you're the Eagles, you pick him up and you hope you don't play him for 2 years. You really do.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to change your offense at all, if something happens to Hurts.
Yeah. My thing, I said earlier in the pod, Myles Garrett, whatever, if it's 2 firsts and a second, a first and a second, whatever that is, get him and just be the scariest defense that we've known for the last 20 years.
That'd be nasty. God, that'd be nasty.
Right? Like,
just remember too, though, the Eagles are going to have an extra 3rd round pick because we have 2, and we're going to give them one of them for AJ Brown so he can be reunited with Vrabel.
Here we go. No. You keep everything how it is, and they even said,
no. Time for him to. He's got to move on.
Well, yeah, I think that was it. We had a good long podcast. We nailed them all. We're gonna have a 2.0, I guess, after free agency or maybe mid free agency in a few weeks.
Probably that first week. Like, do it right in the middle of that first week.
Yeah, do version.
It's absolute chaos.
2.0. All right. Well.
Oh, I should have some of the trade. That trade might be done by then, actually. The AJ Brown, that one might be done, so we'll have him in the mix. So it won't sign him running. That's gonna be great.
Yeah. Quick baby recap corner. We haven't had one for a second.
Yeah.
Nothing amazing. First, I've said it before, the first 2 months are absolute hell. It's the worst thing on earth. Absolutely. But now it's been like he sleeps a little bit longer. He's good. He only cries when he's hungry. He smiles. So parents, the first 2 months, don't let people lie to you and say it's amazing. It's not. I guess it's amazing because you created a life. But it's
like, whoa. Reword that.
And then he also cries when he's tired. And this is something I don't understand. Like, babies crying when they're tired. It's like, motherfucker, just go to sleep. Like, you don't need to cry. Just fall asleep. You want to do it, just do that. Why are you making me
about it?
bump you around and have to walk miles or put you in the car and drive around? Like, just don't cry about falling asleep. Just fall asleep. It's simple. Here you go.
I think it's more than that to it than that. I think he's just crying because he wants sleep. There's obviously something else going on.
No. They literally get like fussy when they are sleepy and tired. It's very weird. And then he likes to be fair. Like just bumped a little bit and walked around.
I get pretty ornery when I'm tired too.
Exactly. All right. Well, Fraser Uncle Blaiso podcast, faneverland.com, Uncle Blaiso. Always a pleasure.
Good stuff.